All right, I'd like to call this meeting to order. The time is 6 p.m. on 10/8/2024. Tara, can we get a roll call, please?
Marmon?
Here.
Ritchie? Ferris?
Here.
Waterman? Here. Darling? Here. Stecker?
Here.
Weiss? Nate? Piper?
Here.
Thank you. All right, first item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. If anyone would like to make a motion on that.
So moved.
And a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, same sign.
Aye.
I think it's on
Okay,
Wait.
yeah. All right, let's move on to the minutes approval for the September 24th, 2024 meeting minutes. If anyone would like to make a motion on that.
I make a motion,
Go ahead.
a motion to approve the meeting minutes from the 24th.
Thank you, and can I get a second?
Sure.
Thank you. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Thank you. All right, so let's move on to public comment. Public comment, this would be for anyone that is here to speak on something that is not an agenda item. Do I have anyone here that is here for something that's not listed on the agenda? Okay, we'll move on to the next item, which would be old business. We currently don't have any, so we'll move on to item 7A, which is approval of a rezoning for a commercial property located at 215 North Buxton Street.
Thank you. The owner applicant in this case is Integra Investments LLC, represented by Ben Carpenter, who owns Integra Electric. The property is located south of West Boston Avenue and north of North Buxton Street. It's a 3,400 square foot lot. And it's this parcel that's highlighted in. The applicant is requesting approval of rezoning from C3 and R2 to C3. Somehow it got zoned at some point over the past, who knows how long. So currently, again, it's R2 and C3. The applicant is looking to rezone it to just C3, which is the purple shade there. Some of the surrounding uses are R2 and C3 to the north, C3 to the south and to the east, and then R2 to the west. At your June 11th, 2024 meeting, you recommended approval for a code amendment to allow contractors' offices in the C3 district. So this comes next, which is a full rezone of that parcel to C3 to allow to operate his electric business. Notification to adjacent property owners was mailed on September 19th, 2024, and the rezoning sign was placed on the property by the deadline last week. I've not received any correspondence for or against the request. The proposed zoning district is consistent with the land uses identified in the comprehensive plan and the surrounding land uses. So staff does recommend approval of the rezoning for 215 North Buxton Street. There are no remaining staff comments. Happy to take any questions. Also, the applicant is in attendance.
Do we have any questions from the commission? Do we have anyone in the audience that is here to speak on this item? Would anyone like to make a motion on this item?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Would anyone like to second that?
I second.
Thank you. Tara, can we get a roll call vote?
Marmon?
Yes.
Ferris?
Yes.
Waterman? Yes. Darling?
Yes.
Stecker?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, thank you. We'll move on to item 7B, approval of a preliminary plat for Kentucky Ridge Townhomes.
We'll be talking about the next two items together as they coincide with one another. The owner and the applicant in this case is Inception Group LLC, and they are represented by Jason Ledden and Eric Cannon with Snyder and Associates. The applicant is requesting approval of a site plan and a preliminary plat for a multifamily townhome development project located south of East Kentucky Avenue and north or east of North Jefferson Way, and the property contains just under 3 acres. Previously, this project was rezoned as part of a planned unit development. So now they're requesting approval of a site plan to go along with that PUD. As you recall, the PUD that was approved is on the screen. Currently, the property is owned PUD, surrounded by C2 to the north and to the south, and then PUD to the east as part of those townhome development to the east there, and then PUD and C2 to the west. It was rezoned from R2, single family attached to that PUD. Some of the bulk regulations that allows 14 units an acre. It has certain setback requirements, which have all been met as part of this project. The site plan identifies the creation of 51 townhome units across 8 buildings, a couple of 6plexes, a couple of 7plexes. 3 buildings will have 7 units and 5 units will have 6 units. 5 buildings will have 6 units. Each unit will be roughly 28 by 28 with a 16-foot wide 2-car garage and driveways. Access to the site will be off of Kentucky Avenue here to on the south side of the site there, or the east side of the site. A total of 102 parking spaces are required. That's 2 spaces per unit, and with a 2-car driveways, that parking requirement has been met. So they are providing about 204 spaces, garage spaces, off-street parking spaces, and a couple spots for spaces in the west sides of the site. So the proposed site plan does meet those parking requirements. The sidewalk will be constructed on the south side of Kentucky Avenue, part of this project. And then a series of 5-foot sidewalks will be installed within the development to provide pedestrian access throughout the site. There's also a pedestrian sidewalk included that provides access from the site out to the public sidewalk on Kentucky Avenue. The site will be serviced with all public utilities, which are currently installed in the immediate vicinity. They'll be extended as they needed to service these townhomes. Stormwater detention will occur in a basin that's an underground basin beneath the pickleball court there off to the west. 25% of the project area is required to be open space, and they're providing 45.4%. They're also providing a landscape buffer along the south property line, for additional screening between them and neighboring uses to the south. It doesn't require a landscape buffer along the west property line between that and the commercial district. So they're not showing one. They provided some colored elevations for review, and these are proposed to be constructed predominantly of fiber cement lap siding, fiber cement panels, fiber cement access panels, stone veneer, asphalt shingles, and fenestration or windows. Site plan is in general conformance with zoning ordinance, the site plan ordinance, the comprehensive plan. Staff does recommend approval of the site plan and the preliminary plat, subject to remaining staff comments. Happy to take any questions. Also, the engineer and the applicants are all in attendance tonight.
Thank you. What questions do we have from the commission on this item?
So we're approving the preliminary plat and the site plan,
Correct.
2 different actions?
Correct. The one gets its own resolution, so it gets its own action.
Do we have any other questions from the commission? Do we have anyone in the audience that's here to speak on this item? And can I just get your name and address?
Yep.
too?
Madam Chair, members of the commission, Eric Cannon, 2727 Southwest Center Boulevard, here on behalf of Snyder and Associates. Do have several representatives of the ownership group here as well, if you have any questions. I think Bill did a great job kind of summarizing the project. I'm happy to answer any questions you guys have.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're talking just about the plat, not the site plan.
I'm happy to answer anything you guys have
I
questions
think we
on.
need to treat them as 2 different things, don't we?
Not necessarily. We can take care care of all the correspondence now and then do the motions afterwards. However you wanna approach it.
Okay, I have a question. About the density. The information we were sent says that the PUD allows for maximum density of 14 units per acre.
Yes.
And the acreage shown that I can find is 2.74 acres.
That is the outlot that is owned by the association. There are also postage stamp lots on every single one of the units. So you also have to add in the 25 by 25 square foot number of those 51 units.
So what is it?
It's 3 point something. We're allowed roughly 52 units based on the density from the PUD.
Those 51 units.
Yes. So we're under the density allowed by the PUD.
Okay. The other thing I was questioning, and I raised it when you were here before on the 14th of November of 2023. Where's the play area for the children that are gonna live here?
So as part of the original plan, we had proposed a pickleball court here based on discussions with the Parks Department. And the demand that the community has raised for the need for this. There is a 4-acre park across the street that has a ton of amenities to it. Again, not contiguous to the parcel, but directly
Across the
adjacent to
street,
it.
where? Are you? talking
The Chris Street Memorial Park, there's baseball field there,
Buxton
Yeah.
Park.
Buxton Park.
No, I know,
Moats Park.
Moats Park,
Oaks Park, yeah.
across a 4-lane highway.
Yes. Across Jefferson.
For 4 and 5-year-olds.
I guess I can't say who's gonna live in all of these units and all of the surrounding neighborhoods around here. I mean, there is a park generally close to the project, and based on the Parks Department response, feedback we got from them was that they were interested in something, an amenity here for this property, which we had proposed a pickleball court. I guess if commission or the city feels that parks is out of line and they would rather see some open space or some playground equipment there, I think the owner would be open to that. But we were just reacting to what Parks Department was telling us.
Well, at that meeting in November of 2023, I raised this issue then and pointed out that I thought it was an exceptionally small piece of land for children to play on, considering the number of children that might live here in 51 units. And it was in a really bad location because it's located right along Franklin Street, which I assume is gonna have even more significant traffic than it has now, because a lot of people come out of Walmart that way, as well as the neighborhood.
Kentucky.
And to give a scale for everybody, this city park that's out here off the southeast corner of this building is twice the size of that 0.19 acres, to give you some idea how little it is. I specifically asked after that meeting, I think you 3 people out here in the hallway, to consider a play area for children living in this area before you brought this back. I don't consider a pickleball court for kids a playground. That's an adult playground. That's for adults. Seems to me you could have accommodated it in here somewhere. One of the duties that we're outlined for us in the zoning regulations is provisions for open space and provisions for public infrastructure, public parks, and public safety services. I really think you need to take a look at that. Come up with some area internally, not along a busy street, for kids to play. And I think it's really ridiculous even to suggest that Moaks Park can serve that purpose, because nobody's gonna send a 3 or 4 or 5 or 6-year-old across 65, 69 to play in Moats Park.
I would suggest that no 3 or 4 or 5, 6-year-olds should be sent on their own to go anywhere. I guess parks are regional in their nature. They serve a surrounding area, not just stuff adjacent to it or internal to it. And again, to be honest with you, we're following the direction of your Parks Department. So,
But they're not on the Planning and Zoning Commission.
I understand and I respect your opinion on this. We did discuss this. We have discussed it with staff. And we feel this is appropriate based on the direction that we have gotten from a feedback from the city standpoint, so.
Thank you.
Do we have any other questions from the commission? I know we did have a couple more people come in. Do we have anyone in the audience that wanted to speak on this item? So we will do this in 2 separate motions. So the first would be if someone wants to make a motion for the approval of the preliminary plat for Kentucky Ridge Townhomes.
I make a motion for the approval of the Kentucky Ridge Townhome plat.
Would anyone like to second that?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Sure, can we get a roll call vote, please?
Piper?
Yes.
Tucker?
Yes.
Darling?
Yes.
Werdeman? Yes. Marmon?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Thank you. And then we'll move on to 7C, which would be the approval of a site plan for Kentucky Ridge Townhome.
I'll make a motion that we approve the site plan for Kentucky Ridge Townhomes.
I'll second.
Thank you. Roll call vote, please.
Harris?
No.
Piper?
Yes.
Darling?
Yes.
Tucker?
No.
Marmon?
Yes.
Werdeman? Yes.
All right, we'll move on to item 7D, approval of a plat survey for Mid-American Energy. I'm not gonna read the whole parcel ID.
That's fine. Thanks, Eric. I've received a request from Mid-American Energy. The parcel is currently owned by Stephen and Jerry Henry. And the applicant is Mid-American Energy to propose a platted survey that's within one of the priority growth areas within the 2-mile buffer of the city of Indianola. It's located south of G36 and east of North Jefferson Way. It contains about 12.77 acres in area. The platted survey identifies the creation of one lot that has a gross area of 12.77 acres. That includes a little bit of right of way. Otherwise, it's 11.22 acres in area. The right of way easement occupies 1.55 acres of that. Mid-American Energy currently owns this square up here, and they're looking to expand their property for a future installation of a substation, sorry. So again, the reason you guys are hearing this today is because it's in one of the priority growth areas out east of town. So it'll be heard before Planning Commission and then City Council at their next meeting. It is part of the future land use map does classify this area as industrial. So the substation ends up meeting that classification anyway. So the plat survey is in conformance with our subdivision ordinance and comprehensive plan and the future land use map. So staff does recommend approval. There's no comments to address. Happy to take any questions. Also, the engineer is in attendance if you have any questions for him.
Do we have any questions or comments from the commission on this one? Do you have anyone in the audience that's here to speak on this item? Can I just get your name and address?
I'm Marty Doslick with Civil Engineering Consultants, 2400 86th Street, Unit 12, Urbandale. I'm just here to answer any questions that you may have. At this point, we don't know when substation may be built or expanded. They're trying to buy the ground now before the area develops too much. Once there's enough development to warrant, then they'll build the substation. Right now, they're anticipating in 8 to 10 years.
Thank you. If we don't have any questions or comments on this one, would someone like to make a motion on this item?
Before you do, I just want to say for the record, I did receive one phone call about this because I had to mail out notices from the adjacent property to the east. She didn't have any concerns. She was curious about the timeline for any future development that they might do or what they were using the land for. So ultimately, she was okay with it. I had to get back with her on one thing, but you know, she's okay with the plat survey. So I just want to give her credit for calling in.
Awesome, thank you.
I'd like to make a motion to recommend approval of the Mid-American Energy Plat of Survey.
Thank you. Would anyone like to make a second? I second that.
In a second.
All right, roll call vote, please.
Waterman? Yes. Stecker?
Yes.
Norman?
Yes.
Ferris?
Yes.
Piper?
Yes.
Darling?
Yes.
All right, item 7E, approval of a final plat for Ashton Park, Plat 8.
I know you don't typically hear about final plats anymore, but historically in communities I've been in, we've always taken final plats. I figure with me being pretty new, it's a good opportunity for me to learn a little bit more about subdivisions and where they are, and also a good refresher for you folks, because you've previously approved preliminary plats for these, and then once that gets approved, you really don't hear about them anymore. So that'd be a good opportunity to bring one. I'll have one at the next meeting too. So the owner and applicant in this case is Jerry's Homes Incorporated. They're represented by Melissa Hills with Civil Engineering Consultants. They're requesting approval of a final plat for residential subdivision located south of East Iowa Avenue and east of North 15th Avenue, and that contains just under 31 acres in area. It's currently zoned R2. And it's R2 on all three sides except for the east, which is in Warren County jurisdiction. This final plat identifies 58 lots for single-family residential development. And those lots range in size from 8,125 square feet in area to 17,313 square feet in area. So all lots meet or exceed the minimum requirements of the R2 district. The plat includes an extension of East Euclid Avenue and a couple of additional streets there. 5-foot sidewalks will be constructed on both sides of the roads as part of individual lot development. The site will be serviced with all public utilities. As the streets get extended, those utilities have been stubbed and they're just waiting to be connected for the future development. Stormwater detention will be provided with a basin out in this general area for this plat. And then all easements have been shown on the final plat. I'm working through the legal documents now and obtaining all those documents to ultimately record this plat. This is one that's getting ready for a final walkthrough on Thursday. So, the final plat is in conformance with our zoning ordinance, subdivision ordinance, and future land use plan. Staff recommends approval of the final plat for Ashton Park Plat 8. I did have a couple of comments that this came in, well before I started. And I found a couple of things that I needed to get addressed, very minor, couple label things. So waiting on getting those resubmitted, but in the meantime, we recommend approval of the final plat subject to remaining staff comments. Happy to take any questions.
Do you have any questions or go ahead, Al?
Since on the south side of this, there's the abandoned railroad track that goes back to a lift station. There has been desire expressed in the past to continue the nature trail across 15th and on down that track somewhere, even if you have to turn around. Since that might happen in the future, should there be some easement involved in this to get access from these houses to that potential trail?
If it's not proposed or existing, that easement could just come at a later time through working with the property owners, or if the lots haven't sold yet, then with Jerry's Homes. Do you know anything about the?
It seems like it was talked about in the past, and isn't there a narrow,
There's something there
a net between, so the lots that are coming up to,
between 13 and 14.
I can't, see it from here, but if you can see the blue, right above the blue is the old railroad right away, and then go left, stop.
Right there.
That was at one point, a proposed connection discussion with the neighborhood that would lead down to that potential trail in the future. And I think it is outlined there as some kind of.
Yeah. CEC's typing is hard enough to read when it's large.
Yeah, that's the best of my knowledge, and that's just straight recollection from what Charlie had talked about at one time.
With Jennifer Ellison on Zoom, who's.
Is she on?
Yeah.
Jennifer, can you hear us?
me okay? Good evening, commissioners. This is Jennifer Ellison with Jerry's Homes, 3900 Westtown Parkway, West Des Moines. I just wanted to thank you for reviewing our plat. We've been working on this the last couple of years, finalizing it. But we also have a trail that will go through the detention easement, a location for that trail. I think it's penciled in on the construction drawings, and the city will install it at a future date.
I couldn't understand what she said. I'm sorry.
Sorry, can you repeat that one more time?
Yeah, I apologize. So there is a location for a trail connection that goes through that southwest detention.
Southwest detention. So is that angled? That
It's
southwest?
a curved trail.
Well, it looks like an S.
Yeah, I see that.
Oh, yeah. See,
Oh.
go right. Keep going.
Yeah.
Oh, here.
Stop.
I think
That's
that's what
looking
she's
big.
talking about.
Yeah.
How it curves to the left. It kind of curves like an S.
Yeah, okay, I see, okay, I see.
Okay.
So would that be, how would that handle? Will that show on the plat? Is that what it's gonna do? It'll show on the plat as a easement or whatever it is through there for a trail?
I'd have to look at a bigger version to see what it's labeled as. Jennifer, do you know?
It's actually going to be installed by the city at a future date.
Will it be recorded as an easement on the plat?
I would have to go back and take a closer look at it. I believe it is an easement.
That's what that's been done in the past with other trail.
And we can take that recommendation to make sure we verify that before it hits city council.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Do we have any other questions from the commission in regards to this item? Do I have anyone in the audience that's here to speak on this item? Would anyone like to make a motion on this item?
I will make a motion to recommend approval contingent upon resolution of city staff comments as well as the confirmation that the easement is included.
Thank you. Can we get a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Carol, roll call vote, please.
Piper,
Yes.
Tucker,
Yes.
Darling,
Yes.
Yes.
Pierce,
Yes.
Marvin.
Yes. All right, item 7F, approval of a site plan for 203 West Second Avenue.
The owner and the applicant in this case is Jay and Brenda Clark, represented by Matthew Palin with Creative Concepts Architecture. The applicant is requesting approval of a site plan for a 2,000 square foot commercial tenant space located at 203 West Second Avenue, so basically at the corner of Buxton and 92 there. The property is currently zoned C2, and then to the north, to the south are both C2 districts, and then to the east is a PUD, and then to the west is single family attached or detached. So at their August 7th, 2024 meeting, the Board of Adjustment heard a case from the applicant to reduce the setbacks, the front setback and the rear setback in this general vicinity of the plat or the plan. This isn't really applicable for that area is not applicable for the variance, just the more square version of it is. Due to the flag shaped lot, they were unable to meet standard setback requirements. There is a single family home to the south there. So they proposed a 15-foot setback for the front yard and then a 30-foot setback for the backyard. Those are deviations of 25 feet and then 10 feet. So these variances were approved by the Board of Adjustment at their meeting for both setback requests. So the applicant has submitted a site plan for a 2,000 square foot commercial building there. It's located in the gray spot on the north side of the site. The building will be 40 by 50 and about 13 feet at its tallest point. So the site plan, the way it's laid out, it does meet the setbacks as approved by the Board of Adjustment. Access to the site will be provided on South Buxton Street with a driveway there. IDOT has control of 92 and access off of that, and they did not access off of 92, so access off of Buxton is the way to go for this site. 8 parking spaces are required, and they're providing those 8 spaces, including 1 accessible space. So the site plan does meet parking requirements. 5-foot sidewalks exist along 2nd Avenue and Buxton Street, and they're providing a 5-foot sidewalk to the public sidewalk from the site. The site will be serviced with all public utilities, which are installed in the immediate vicinity of the area. Detention will be provided with a small basin down in the southwest corner here. 20% of the project area is required to be open space, and they're showing 40%, including a landscape buffer along the west property line. The landscape plan does meet the site plan ordinance for landscaping. Colored elevations have been provided. This is the storm sewer layout and the grading plan that are being looked at. Colored elevations, predominantly stucco, stone veneer, and fenestration. So the site plan is in general conformance with the zoning ordinance, site plan ordinance, and the comprehensive plan. It also meets the variance request that the Board of Adjustment approved. So staff recommends approval of the site plan for 203 West 2nd Avenue, subject to remaining staff comments. We're happy to take any questions. Also, the owner is in attendance tonight.
Do we have any questions from the commission on this item? Do I have anyone in the audience that's here to speak on this item?
Yes. I've nothing to say, actually. I'm just here for questions if you have any, so
Okay,
I'll leave it at that.
thank you. All right, would anyone like to make a motion on this item?
I'll make a motion that we recommend approval of the site plan for 203 West 2nd Avenue.
Thank you. Would anyone like to second that?
Second.
No. And roll call vote?
Tucker,
Did you say Stecker?
I did.
Yes, I'm sorry. I can't hardly hear you.
Thank you. Wordeman,
Yes.
Piper,
Yes.
Marmon,
Yes.
Darling,
Yes.
Ferris,
Yes.
All right. Let's move on to 7G, approval of a site plan for Quick Star 2103 North Jefferson Way.
Last one. The owner and the applicant in this case is Quick Trip Incorporated, represented by Nate Byam.
Quick start.
The owner is Quick Trip. Represented by Nate Byam, who's the development manager for Quick Trip. The applicant is requesting approval of a site plan for a Quick Star gasoline station and convenience store located in the new Emerald Bay planned development there, south of East Trowbridge Avenue and west of North Jefferson Way. This parcel contains about 4.06 acres. And right now the property's address is 2103 North Jefferson Way. The property was recently rezoned from C2 general commercial to the planned unit development to allow for mixed use development, including commercial and residential uses. And the site plan identifies the construction of a gas station with the associated gasoline pumps, diesel pumps, and a car wash. On the site, there's the standard gasoline pumps here. The car wash is on the south side of the site. And then the diesel pumps are off to the west. The gas canopy will be 40 by 120 and include 10 double-sided pumps with 20 pumps in total. And then the diesel canopy will be 24 by 50 and include 4 pumps, I believe, is that right?
Two
Double-sided. The convenience store and the car wash together will be about 11,000 square feet in area. And the underground storage tanks will be located at the northwest side of the site, this general vicinity here. Access to the site will be provided off of East Trail Ridge Avenue with a series of entrances. This is a site circulation plan. The far west access will be delivery truck only, and the other 2 will be more restricted for all traffic. 50 parking spaces are required, which is 1 space per 250 square feet of gross floor area plus one employee at the highest shift. It's confusing to say. And the applicant is providing 77 spaces, not including what's included with the fuel pumps. 5-foot sidewalks will be constructed on the west side of North Jefferson Way adjacent to the development. That will be installed with the site plan. And then a 10-foot trail will be installed on the north side of the site on the south side of Trail Ridge Avenue, and that will be installed with plat improvements. And then they are showing a pedestrian walkway towards this area out to the public sidewalk on Jefferson Way, so pedestrians can access it without going all the way up to Trail Ridge. The site will be serviced with all public utilities, which are in the process of getting installed. Stormwater detention will be provided with a pond near the center of the overall Emerald Bay development. 20% of the project area is required to be open space, and they're providing 45.4. And then they're providing a landscape buffer on the west side of the site between the commercial and what's proposed to be residential there off to the west. So the landscape plan does meet our ordinance. Elevations are provided, kind of a standard quick start building, a lot of brick, fiber cement accent panels, stone veneer. And so the site plan is in general conformance with the zoning ordinance, site plan ordinance, and comprehensive plan, and staff does recommend approval of the site plan for Quick Start, subject to all remaining staff comments. Happy to take any questions. There's also a representative in attendance.
We have questions from the commission on this item. Do we have anyone in the audience that's here to speak on this item? Like public comment?
My name is Katie Damon, 209 West Hillcrest Drive. So just a couple things with the site plan. I'd ask for planning and zoning to consider not approving the plan with a car wash station. If you consider what is around that area. So currently there is a brand new car wash across the street that was put in. And then if you go not even a block, there's another car wash. That puts 3 car washes roughly within less than a 2-block radius. And then considering even if you drive, so even thinking larger, if you drive from Tyson's to 92, 21 businesses are designated specifically for auto, meaning car washes, gas stations, auto repair. And so that's the experience as people drive through Indianola is all of these auto businesses. So considering that as you are approving for other commercial spaces, that's what people experience as they drive through Indianola. So I would suggest removing the car wash. The other on the landscaping plan, the south, while there is a buffer to the west, the south landscaping plan, consider that there are housing. We on Hillcrest, we are on that south side. So increasing that landscaping buffer for your overstory trees, including evergreens, so that there is some sort of buffer all year round, so white pines, but increasing that landscaping buffer, increasing the tree density more than what is in the current plan. The other thing I would consider as Emerald Bay is being developed is I would ask that all planning and zoning go and look at what Emerald Bay in Tahoe really looks like. It's an actual place. It's a beautiful place. I would love to think that Emerald Bay, Indianola, would look like Emerald Bay, Tahoe. Not expecting an alpine lake, but if we're gonna make a beautiful space, let's make Emerald Bay look very nice and not like a gas station. That's all.
Thank you.
Hello, I didn't fill out one of your sheets. That's okay. Sorry. I'm Sue Wilson, 114 West Hillcrest Drive. Diesel tanks. So what size trucks are gonna be coming through my backyard? Right, we asked city council to make sure we have noise and light mitigation. We already hear all of them hit the gravel strips, come to a halt right at 65 and Hillcrest as it is. Okay, so now I think they said 10 with 20 pumps. Right, so right on the main drag for that. So this looks like a travel center to me. Okay, I'm a Minnesotan at heart. So when I talk about travel center, this reminds me of the one heading 35 north in Albert Lee. And it's got 3 or 4 different restaurants and all the truckers and everything, and that's fine. But you do have a row of homes, you do have children, and then if your residential's coming to there, right? We're okay to have kids running in and out of a gas station with truckers and semi-trucks and everything else. So when we were first told Quick Star, you had a lot of excited people because apparently people like cake donuts. And they have good food. I've heard that. But now to know that it's going to be a large travel center on the north side of town is even more disheartening for us that live there.
Thank you.
Jesse Rognes, Indianola, Iowa, 125 Fulton. I just want to comment on a couple of things she said there about, one, this being a travel center. It's not a travel center. And 2, about Emerald Bay being beautiful. That is my goal. You made a comment earlier, Al, about a park. We have over a 2-acre park that we're planning on walking trails around, pavilion, stuff, other things for kids to do. They're not going to be spending their time in the gas station. This isn't set up for semis or trucks or a lot of parking. If it was, they would have bought 2 more acres and had truck parking there, which is a need for Indianola, by the way. All they have right now is the co-op. Maybe it's not here, obviously, it's not designed to be here, but that's not a travel center. Thank you.
Yeah.
I do have one question about, in the past, there have been concerns expressed in here by the owners of the veterinary clinic about the entrance. Has that been resolved with?
Yep. So as a little update, and you guys will be seeing more, I was able to work a deal out with not only the vet clinic, but a majority of the owners to that north mess that we have going on. Very close to cleaning it up. I got, I would say 75% of it taken down, closed on within the last 2 weeks, and working towards a bigger plan to put in front of you guys.
As long as.
In a signed agreement with the vet clinic for access.
Let me ask you it this way, are they happy?
Yeah, they're on we've met with Ben, we're all together, we're all on the same page.
Okay.
So they're happy with the trajectory. They will be definitely happy once we have a development agreement in place for this, that would realign the entryway and have remuneration that helps them with their parking, and their entries are lined up with the entries here. So we're working actively with the veterinary clinic, and they're happy with the direction that we're going.
We're in the process of putting together a new site plan for them, because this does affect them pretty significantly. So there's a new site plan that you guys will see hopefully within the next few weeks.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening. My name is Casey Boninger. I'm a real estate manager for Quick Trip and Quick Star. So first of all, thank you to Ben and Bill for getting us to this point, and thank you, Commission, for reviewing our site plan tonight. So I just, Bill covered it pretty well on the site plan. So this is our Generation 3 store, convenience store building. So it is just under 9,200 square feet. It is not our travel center. That is upwards of 12,000 square feet. We do show under our gas canopy the 10 MPDs, multiple product dispensers, which is 20 fueling stations. And that is our standard for our neighborhood convenience stores. And as Jesse mentioned, we do feel there is a need in Indianola to offer some side diesel for construction vehicles. And so we have added 2 lanes of side diesel here on this site plan for that as well. And so their access point will be through that far western access. That will be truck entrance only, and then they will go out the middle entrance. And autos can go through the far eastern or the middle access point. In regards to a car wash, so yes, we are aware there's a lot of car washes, but it is something that we like to offer as an additional service. When customers come in, they can come in, get their groceries, snack, coffee, and then also go through the car wash as well. So we like to be able to provide that. We wouldn't spend millions of dollars on building a car wash if we didn't feel it was needed, or we wouldn't want to provide it. So yeah, I think that is all I really wanted to address. Oh, one other item is, unlike other convenience store chains, we are vertically integrated. So I think it's almost 90% now of everything in our stores is made out of our La Crosse campus. So we have a dairy plant, bread and bun bakery, kitchen, sweets bakery. And so we make those items, we ship it, and then we sell it. So if there's any other questions, I'd be more than happy to answer those.
Question about the elevation. It looks like the garage is just one bay. So from 2 sides of the building, it just looks like one garage door, correct? Am I seeing that right?
So there's one on both sides, one on the entrance.
An
one on
entrance,
the
that's
exit.
it, but it's just one,
Single bay.
essentially one bay, one garage door.
Yeah,
Okay.
correct.
Question, with regards to the south elevation where you've got the buffer there with plantings, I don't know, maybe you can bring that up. How tall are the proposed plantings on that south buffer to create a better wall line without looking at the species on the plant material list, but are they tall, short?
I think we usually look at.
It's probably important to note that there are 2 commercial pad sites in between the Quick Star and where the homes are, as well as a roadway in between.
So there's a very large distance.
There is a large distance, and the the southernmost commercial, as it abuts residential, will have a berm and landscaping between that and the first of the 3 commercial sites going.
So when people are parking south and they have their headlights on at nighttime, is that gonna be a distraction for the homeowners to the south?
South parking, yes, sir.
Well, I mean, that's the intent of having a visual and sound buffering through the berm that would be created on the turquoise line there, which is
not built yet.
which is the earthwork is being done out there, but it's actually between the commercial zoning and the residential zoning.
Okay, thank you.
Do we have any other questions on this item?
Yeah, so just to clarify what Ben was just saying, so I'm sorry, so obviously the space that would be just to the south along Jefferson, that would all be different commercial development, correct?
There's 2 commercial
Yeah.
lots. I
And
can
then-
probably speak to this a little bit better for you. There's 2 more commercial lots. There's also quite a bit of elevation difference.
Oh, yeah,
And we are planning on planting on that berm too.
okay,
That any of those businesses that would build on those lots to the south of the Quick Star would have their own site plans as well. But we're planning on putting in a lot of plantings along there to screen that neighborhood from the development as well.
yeah, and it was commercial to the west
Yeah,
as well,
so-
or,
There'll be
I can't
another
remember what the
commercial lot
PUD
here, another commercial lot here.
okay,
So, and then we have all along here, we have a berm and screening and we have like a row home product here with large backyards, larger setbacks than what's required.
I remember we saw the kind of the concept in the PUD, it's just been a little while,
Yeah,
so.
nothing's really changed.
And where the red dot is that road.
Yeah,
with
there's
a
a
right in, right out.
there's gonna be a road that goes out, right turn only.
For right now, yeah.
I remember.
Hopefully sometime as it's urbanized, maybe we can go both ways, but for now.
And it's important to note, each subsequent site plan will also have its
Yeah.
own landscaping plan to consider as well.
There's an elevation difference too, isn't
Yeah, it's depending on where you're at, it's anywhere from, obviously up closer to Jefferson, there'll be less of an elevation difference and it gets all the way to about 15 feet.
And I guess that's part of the reason I was asking these questions is that I hear the concerns of the homeowners. And I'm just trying to assess out, it seems like this is pretty far away from where those homes would be is kind of what
And a lot of your lights would be cars parking in here filling,
If you look at the
facing,
parking.
well, they've got their building blocking that,
There's
plus
very little
any other
parking
buildings would be
facing
blocking it,
south.
all their landscaping and the elevation difference.
Very little parking facing.
And we really see the parking along the south there is likely only employee parking because our main entrances are on the north and the east.
Thank you so much. Do we have any other questions? Would anyone like to make a motion on this item?
I'll make a motion to recommend approval of the site plan. I think you said contingent upon a few additional staff comments.
Yep, the reviews haven't been completed yet.
Okay.
Can we get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Roll call vote, please.
Ferris,
Yes.
Darling,
Yes.
Piper,
Yes.
Stecker,
Yes.
Mormon,
Yes.
Wortman.
Yes.
All right, item 8A, the building permit report.
I promised last time I'd be more prepared for this one, but I'm not, so I apologize. I haven't even seen one. I know she sends them out, but
It's through September.
Yeah.
You need it?
Sure.
It looks like there's a lot more activity though. I think it's picking back up.
Nah.
No? My neighborhood looks like it's picking back up.
A lot of alterations.
Huh?
There are more like additions and alterations.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about current projects? We need.
Where do I start? You saw 6 of them. I'm trying to, everyone except Quick Start came in before I started. So I'm trying to clear a lot of those things off and get to a point where I can go home at time, go home at 5, go home on time. Getting to a point where I can kind of start to focus on projects that come in brand new, where I don't have to deal with things that people said in the past and, differences of communication and things of that nature. The Emerald Bay, they're underway with the preliminary plat. They submitted their final plat the other day. Quick Star is moving forward there. You heard about Kentucky Ridge. We're looking forward to getting those townhomes underway. They submitted their final plat finally today, so we'll get that reviewed. Couple of other final plats, you might remember Summercrest. So Summercrest Plat 2. They'll be ready for walkthroughs later on this month. Quail Meadows Plat 5 is the last of the Quail Meadows. That one came through. There's a couple comments left on the CDs that AP is working through. And then that final plat was submitted too. So those 2 will be before you guys probably at the next meeting. received another preliminary plat for an area over by the schools on 92. Yeah, just a lot to come in the middle of, and so I'm just trying to work with city staff and Ben on trying to clear those ones away and get people moving on their projects before winter time.
Bill, is that the schoolyard one that we
Yeah.
saw? Is that what
No,
we're talking
it's a
about? No, it's a new one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Stay
Just a-
tuned. Yeah.
Just a 9 lot
Oh, okay,
preliminary plat for,
okay.
or sorry, 8 lots for part of it's commercial, part of it's industrial.
And then at that meeting, when we heard Emerald Bay, I think that Deer Run project was on, is there any movement with that?
So first, before answering that, I just want to say Bill is doing such an exceptional job and I am so happy. I cannot tell you how happy I am he's here.
It makes me blush.
Just taking on after both Charlie and Emily leaving right at the same time and Kristen going back to school. She's still interning a little bit for us on the side, but she's off to school right now. And Bill's right. Every single one of these projects is somewhere in process with different commitments and interpretations of code all the way through. And trying to decipher that has meant a lot of calls to Charlie to make sure we're on track. And so we appreciate Charlie as well and Emily as well as Bill taking all these things on. With that said, Bill has been taking all of the community development, site plans, all that kind of stuff, all those applications and running with those, and that's been awesome. Meanwhile, I've been taking the development agreements and negotiations and trying to get all those prepared. And if you recall, Charlie was trying to clean up all of the TIF districts. And that's the base foundation for all of these development agreements that are in various stages of negotiation as well. So there's 5 active development agreements under negotiation right now. Deer Run is the one that's furthest out. That's out in the west. Wesley Village, Wesley Life with the village is another one. Kentucky Ridge, they actually have language that they're evaluating right now and reviewing. Emerald Bay is another one, and that's mostly because of working with the veterinary clinic and the realignment of that intersection. And we had to we're working to acquire land there. And so we're working to try to resolve their parking lot issue that was created when the light went in, the way it went in, and also trying to open up the area to the north that was platted back in the 50s and had all those landlocked parcels back there. And so we really appreciate the developer working to consolidate all that, and the city wants to play its role and trying to help facilitate all that coming forward. And then another one's the Summercrest development, which is the areas north of the Indianola Wellness campus. And so lots of development going on all at once, and that's not even counting the ones that are actively being built on right now, such with earthwork going on at the schoolyard and all the different homes that are being built in subdivisions that have already been platted and finalized. Lots coming. The growth wave is certainly hit.
Is there, I may have missed it, so I apologize. What is going on at the site that used to be the trailer park or?
That's schoolyard.
That's schoolyard. I was thinking schoolyard was on the other side. Okay.
and it looks like maybe they're closing down for the season or something because they've seeded it. It looks like they've seeded it down. They've mulched it. And I just wonder if they were kind of holding off till spring to reconstruct.
I'm not sure. They do have all the approvals they needed to move forward, and they did a lot of earthwork right away. It was surprising to see last time I drove by, and then you're right, it just stopped. So but I haven't been in contact with them to know exactly what their plans are, and maybe they're moving from one crew to another. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I had that backwards in my head. I was thinking that was on the south side of 92. Okay.
That is another one of Lee Adams' developments to the south side. That one was placed on hold for a period of time because Iowa DOT made their change. They have access management plans necessary and required for all access to 92 and 65, 69. And so because that one was already in process, we entered into a memorandum of understanding that would allow that one development to go forward with so long as the alignment tied to 20th and matched with the road that goes north from 92. And since we're doing that all in good faith and working to do access management plan for the rest of the community, Iowa DOT was allowing that to go forward. And so that's now back, I think, in the developers court.
Thank you. There's a lot going on.
That's the one that I mentioned, I got the preliminary plan.
I'm an accountant. I'm no community development professional like these guys. I just pretend like. So.
Well, thank you both for the updates. Would anyone like to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So moved.
Thank you. Good job.
Thank you. Thanks for, well, I mean, you've probably.
For a whole hour. Sure.